this is the issue I'm having. Brake light comes on when I hit the brakes. I go to apply the brakes, that's hard pedal right now, and the truck just keeps going. Well, it's another day in the driveway working on this old girl. Just towing my wheeler, came to the end of the highway and went to stop. Sure enough, when I hit the brakes, the brake light came on and there was no brakes. It was just a hard pedal and the truck almost rear-ended somebody. So I did a booster test. That all came back normal. And then I went, hauled the line off the vacuum pump and hooked up a vacuum gauge to it. Sure enough, she was reading about 13 inches of vacuum and it needs to be running 22. So I figured maybe the hose was bad. So I undid the hose and put a new piece of fuel line on it, rigged it up. Sure enough, still the same thing. So she needs a vacuum pump. So I went on Rock Auto, ordered one. None of the part stores around where I'm from was able to get any, which was odd. And the one that they had listed, they wanted $280 for. So I got this one shipped to my door for $175. I'll hook up the vacuum pump and demonstrate what I was getting for a reading. So the hose you're looking for is the one that comes right off the vacuum pump down there. If you follow it, it's this one here. I already got it unhooked. And there should be a T right there on your firewall with a bunch of other vacuum lines hooked to it, going to the booster, and then to your controls for your HVAC. I'll get the vacuum pump set up so you guys can see it. So this is the vacuum pump I got. I just got it at Canadian Tire. It wasn't very much. You want to hook it into the end of your hose. Make sure it's secure. You're not going to want this thing to leak. And I'll go get this fired up and see what the reading is. As you can see, she's only pulling about 7 inches of vacuum. I can rev it up and she'll pull a bit more. But as you can tell, that pump is shot. Well, I'm gonna get this taken off. I'm just gonna undo my alternator. Figure that'll give me a bit more room to work. Loosen off the alternator, you can at least take that belt off. I'm going to take the alternator belt off too, just to give me a bit more room. You got it unbolted. It's only 2 bolts to haul it out. So I got the pump off. By the looks, the seal, the bearing had failed, and that's all the gear oil leaking out of this thing. Must have failed internally. One thing I like about this truck is having this bumper. It works perfect as a bench, especially when you're working in the driveway. noticing the bracket doesn't quite line up with the new one. I'm gonna have to do some filing on it. Well, I don't know if you can see right there at the bottom hole. It's off probably 1/8 of an inch, maybe a bit more. I'm gonna go and file it up some. Yep, go inside. Yep. Run out of air in the air compressor. Let's see if I can get the pulley pulled now. Throwing stuff everywhere. It's probably seized tight on this. It still has the Ford factory pulley. Doesn't appear to be coming out. We're gonna run out of air before it comes off. See it moving a bit. I'm gonna have to let the air compressor build back up. There we go. As you can see, all that fluid must have leaked out and burnt the pump up. All the gear oil's leaking out of that seal. I'm gonna get the pulley installed now. Just gonna lube up the pulley with some of this gear oil. Hope it go on better. This thing goes on straight, so you ain't got no alignment issues. going on there pretty good. Seems to be going on pretty straight. Out there. Get something to hold that bolt. Of course, the one wrench I needed was the one that was on the barn floor. In case working in the driveway, not having a shop. You always got to run back and forth to find your tools, and you never can find anything. Appears I got it on there. Give her another crank, make sure she's on there good. Yep, she's nice and flush with the shaft. Oh yeah, even just turning this one by hand, I can turn this one almost by hand without the pulley on. So you know how bad the pump is. Something obviously failed once all that fluid leaked out. I know these are bad, or known to be bad. Go out often on people's trucks. Oh, I got everything back in there, belts tightened up. I got the vacuum gauge hooked up. I'm gonna go start her up, see what she's showing for a reading, making sure we get the right reading on her. Making sure it's not a dud out the box. It seems to feel like a good one. There, 22 inches of vacuum, exactly what it's supposed to have at idle. Oh, I'm gonna get this hose hooked back up where it goes. Oh, you can even hear that she had some good vacuum. It ran in. I just used fuel line because I didn't have any vacuum hose laying around. That'll work better than anything. Probably last way longer. Oh, she's nice and out of the way. Not gonna get caught in any belts or anything. Oh, I'm gonna get this mess cleaned up and go take it for a test drive. Oh, the test drive was a success. It definitely needed a new vacuum pump. The brakes work phenomenal now. It stops on a dime. There'll definitely be a lot more videos on this channel about this truck. It's the only vehicle I got. I only can work on it on the weekends, and whatever I do needs to be done and ready to go for Monday morning so I could head back to work. Well, thanks for watching. Subscribe and like for more videos. Another one for the scrap pile.